For example, if you don't reward whistleblowers, there's no way people are going to fight. People are going to actually donate information.
And welcome back to Jeff Koinange live at the poolside of the Intercontinental. You can tell Mheshimiwa and Boniface Mwangi tweeting because the tweets are coming in, Stano.
Pick it fast.
I can't hear you.
I said pick it fast.
Thick and fast, indeed.
Do you have thick tweets?
Yeah, very thick tweets. Very many. I can't read them.
Okay.
But I, Captain Caleb, says, making my JK Live, making my night itawazima moto. By the way, people don't believe you earn 3 million. A lot of people.
No, I said I'm
or worth.
Boniface Mwangi. That's me. But if I'm worth much more, go and take it.
Ask Boniface Mwangi, how does he handle his security? He seems to be having many enemies. That's Enos Oguna.
Very simple, God. I don't have a bodyguard. But a friend of mine came to be with me tonight. Giuliani somewhere there.
Oh, yeah. Politicians want to bonga mob. That's why parliament kuna speaker ndio ujue
vitu ziko wrong. Pedestrian abishagari kupita kwa zebra crossing. Kama unachuki nami ni poison and rat and
rat. Ah, Giuliani, good to see you, man. How much is Giuliani worth?
He has much more than me.
Oh, he's walking away. He's walking away.
Jeff, how much are you worth?
In fact, Alan Mooley just said you need to declare your wealth as well.
Yes, how much are you worth?
I'm worth as much as Koinange Street is worth.
Oh.
Well, you own a whole street, man.
And buildings and other things. All right. Lanes. Lanes.
But Mheshimiwa, on this World Anti-Corruption Day, was this a good sign for us? Because, you know, we've been spiraling out of control, you know, scandal after scandal, week after week. Was this a good point now?
Yeah, indeed, indeed. Let me first of all say that, in fact, because of the freedoms that we have today, you know, there was one time when we could not say the things we want to say. We now have a constitution that allows us the freedom of association, the freedom of media, and the freedom to say things that we couldn't say before. And then, in addition to that, we have the social media, which didn't exist before. And the social media kind of exaggerates everything. Everything looks like a crisis.
Like my wealth.
Yes. So, in a way,
yes.
It has come to a head that corruption now is an issue. And it is good that we're talking about it. It's good we're taking this issue to our leaders to demand action. But I think it is not just leaders who can change the situation. Because if the society itself has that culture of corruption, which starts from below. Because when I returned back home, one of the things that I found is that this culture of corruption that you see everywhere, the crisis of corruption, is internal, in the sense that you would find it at the street level. And if you don't see it as an immoral, as a wrong thing, some people think that paying some few shillings to a police officer or to a clerk is facilitating. Toa kitu kidogo, ufanyiwe kitu kidogo. Unless we change our mindset, unless we are able to sort of say no at that level, we are never going to defeat this monster.
Yeah. But so you led a march last week.
Yes.
And you got, I don't know how far you got to State House.
State House Avenue.
State House Avenue.
Yes.
And then what? You were stopped?
We were tear gassed and arrested.
And you were taking a petition to the president.
Yeah.
Basically saying...
So we have a few things there. Number one, we need to actually have the public declaration of wealth to be publicly, to be on a public website. And number two, we're actually asking the president to ensure that people who whistleblowers should be rewarded and celebrate David Mwangi. And also
only him.
He's like one of the guys who blew the whistle on the Goldenberg scandal, David Mwangi.
Yeah. And my guru said she was a whistleblower.
That's funny. Why was she fired then? And then, and the other thing was actually saying we need to have a special division of the High Court, where when you get arrested today, your case is heard within maybe a few months and you are convicted. Our problem is that when every time someone is actually told to step aside or fired, the money stolen is never recovered. So we're talking about a stolen asset register for the money that has been stolen. But the other thing is actually, you cannot lead the war against corruption if you do not lead it with the good intentions. My concern with the president is that it's not so difficult to give the Kenyan public access to wealth declaration forms because we are willing to help the government fight corruption. But if we can't access to know how much is worth, or how much the president is worth, or whoever it is, we can't say where the money is being hidden.
Yeah.
The other thing is that we need to actually breach the lawyer-client confidentiality. Some of the money being stolen today in this country is being hidden by lawyers. So you steal money, give it to a lawyer, and then it's hidden. In a criminal process, you can be able to track that one down. The other things that we said on our petition is actually a 3-month moratorium for anyone who has stolen money. Money that has been stolen, if you've stolen money, you can return the money and get amnesty, but you get banned from public office.
Do they freeze your assets?
Yes.
I think I disagree with that.
Go on.
I disagree with giving amnesty to a thief who was stolen from the Kenyan public. That is not a way we should go. They should go through the law, they should be sentenced, and they should be punished according to the crimes they have committed against the
And
country.
assets frozen.
Okay,
Yes,
assets frozen.
absolutely.
Truth.
And confiscated,
Listen,
in fact.
Yes.
in an ideal world,
In fact, the president has, in his the last declaration, in which he said that corruption is a threat to our national security. He has also indicated very concrete actions in terms of legislation and in terms of what needs to be done to make it difficult for anyone who commits economic crimes, anyone who is involved in corruption, in bribery, in fraud, in embezzlement, to be taken out. The other thing that he's also agreed with the Chief Justice and that we need as parliamentarians to expedite is also the creation of special courts which would charge corrupt people and economic crimes, because they now take so long that the public do not have confidence.
but
We do
listen,
not have the moral authority
And Mheshimiwa, there's been
and
no
the
arrest.
credibility,
Mheshimiwa.
yes. But with special courts, we can be able to show the public that in fact action has been taken
So they'll be
against
fast-tracked.
Indeed,
Fast-tracked.
and we can
Okay.
see the results.
let me say this, and I agree with what he's saying. I actually totally agree with you. In an ideal world, that would happen. But Kenya is 52 years old, and I want you to tell me 5 people who have gone to jail because of stealing from the public. 5 people in the entire history of our country. That's what I'm saying. Incentivize people who have returned stolen money.
Listen,
and this is an example. Because if you look at there's a report by I think it's called the Crow Report on the illusion of Kenya that was actually that was published actually. But there's not a single person who returned the stolen money. The people who have stolen money from this country are extremely powerful because corruption fights back. And that is why I'm saying let's incentivize getting back what has been stolen. Because if you don't do that, these people are more powerful than even the presidency.
But
that is the reason why the president has taken so long to fight corruption, because it's been fighting back.
I know that,
Mheshimiwa.
but I'm saying that it will really set a very wrong precedent. If we were to say that if any other public official or any other business person or industrialist knows that if he's caught, he can always ask for amnesty and pay back, which means you're legitimizing theft, you're legitimizing embezzlement.
It's a 3-month moratorium. 3 months.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you,
Yes.
really, I guess a question a lot of people are asking. The architect of Goldenberg,
Yes.
the architect,
He got 7 billion last year.
Kamlesh Patni,
Yes.
after I don't know how many years since Goldenberg, we all forgot.
Yeah.
Last week he gets
7 billion shillings
billion with a B.
with a B.
How does that work, Mheshimiwa? How does that work?
Well, I mean, you can't blame that on anyone, because we have the rule of law. We have a constitution. We have laws. We have courts. Courts are independent. They look at the case, they determine, and they have made a judgment. For me, as a member of parliament, you can't ask me to criticize our courts, which...
the courts were working.
So
Exactly.
the same courts
Yes.
want us to take those people who have stolen money. The same courts. My problem is that I've told Mheshimiwa to tell me 5 names of people who have been jailed since '63 because of corruption. 5 names.
I don't... I have spent 22 years of our worst years in exile.
So
I do not
because we
have a
don't-
historical memory
We don't
of
jail,
how many people...
We don't jail big thieves because in this country we say,
But we should be jailing.
why hire
We
a
should
lawyer
be
when you
using
can
our
buy a
laws.
judge?
Yeah.
Why hire a lawyer can buy a judge? We know very well about corruption actually. People have been mentioned actually even in the president's circles. Have been mentioned corruption. We're saying moratorium, 3 months, amnesty, return stolen money. We don't have to forgive you, don't have to like you. Go home. For example, Morari is in court. He's saying that he's too sick to stand trial. But he knows who stole the money for Anglo leasing because he's caught about it. What about, since the man wants to die in peace, return whatever is, because you may be sick, the money is not sick. So return the stolen money, then go home.
I would say that the best thing for us
Yeah.
is to enforce our laws, to make sure that they work for us, to make sure that the Kenyan public gets results out of our courts, and to make sure that money that is stolen is taken back to its rightful owners,
Yeah.
the taxpayers of Kenya.
Mheshimiwa, you know, you're a legislator, so you know, Kenyans, I guess, are waiting for that arrest. They're waiting for that big name to be dragged through the courts so that we, you know, they can look back. Because Kenyans are very.
If there was an example of supporting him, if there was an example of someone who's been jailed,
Yeah.
Patchni, we spent millions of shillings on the Goldenberg inquiry.
Yeah,
and
but,
it still works.
but the other thing is that corruption does not take place in the open. Corruption is a secret. It's a secret human vice.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenon that is done behind closed doors. People need to give evidence. People need to come forward with information. Some of the bills that we are passing now, like the access to information, would be able to help that. But we have come a long way from where we were. Our constitution was only passed 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We're still not finished with passing all the laws that
but you're losing
would
money
make it a
every
reality.
single day with
Yes.
every new scandal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billions.
Billions of shillings.
Billions.
So, Mheshimiwa.
Okay, should every public official declare their wealth,
No,
Mheshimiwa?
they declare. Everyone declares. Even the president
They do.
declared as well. For the last 13 years. How many? 13 years since 2023?
Yeah,
But where is it?
They keep it under lock and key. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
but you know, the legislation also protects the privacy of public officers. Unless that is removed, in which you say you bring in a new legislation which removes that privacy.
But Article
neither the
35
president or the deputy president or anybody can disclose the public publicly the income of a public officer.
But Article 35(1) says actually we must, as a citizen, we should have access to that information.
Of course, under
the right to information.
under the laws of our
Yes.
country, you need to do these things
To apply.
lawfully. Yes.
to apply for that. So we are applying as citizens of this country.
Yeah.
Give us access to your wealth declaration
So at
forms.
the end of the day, what good does Bob Collimore's declaration do for us?
So Bob Collymore is part of a task force formed by the president to fight corruption and give recommendations.
Yeah.
So he's doing that actually as an incentive to do that. I know I met him last week. He said, let's do this. Let's declare our wealth. William Tunga is doing that next week. He's getting his documents together for him to declare his wealth. Because once you do that, you can actually audit your lifestyle. For example, I'm here saying I'm worth 3 million shillings. All you need to do is audit my lifestyle. Am I saying that, am I lying? Because my life is publicly known. The other thing I need to say that is very important, the money that is stolen from this country is not leaving Kenya. It's still here. The money stolen from this country is the one buying apartments in this country, building new houses in Kilimani and Upper Hill. The Kayards actually is part of money laundering because they realize because of the terror laws and terrorism, the money can't leave the country. What that means, if you give whistleblowers an incentive, protection and a reward, you're going to have people lining up say, I know who stole this money. I know where the money is. It's so simple.
Yeah.
So yes, corruption happens in the secret. But you know very well the results or the money that comes from corruption is manifested openly.
Yeah.
Like the Harambee for 17 million a week, that's corruption right there. Unless you tell us where the money is coming from.
Mheshimiwa, why not go the Zimbabwe way? Robert Mugabe giving officials 1 month moratorium. If you in 1 month you come up, you declare. If you don't, if we find money that it doesn't belong to you, boom, you're in the slammer.
Who would do that?
There will be many.
Could we go that way?
But the president, under our constitution, the president doesn't have that power. We have taken a lot of the powers of the president to be able to do many things because of our own history. Mr. Mugabe or someone in another country, under the legislations and the laws that they have, may be able to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't think our president can tell his public officials, like the parliamentarians or the judiciary or the executive, you can do this or you can do this.
Because they'll all run to court.
Yes.
No, actually, laws can be passed. The same way when the president wants to pass a law, he has the majority in parliament actually. The same way, the same parliament that was protecting Wegoro all this time from impeachment is the same parliament that can actually pass laws for the moratorium. As in there are many things that can be done actually. There's public goodwill for the president to fight corruption. Kenyans are supporting him. But the talk is too much.
Yeah.
The other thing, you spoke about corruption in the low level, but don't you understand that the fish rots from the head? If the president was fighting corruption every single day, and you could see it, he means by word and deed, then I can tell you, even down here, it's going to end. Because in 2003, when Kibaki was elected as president, people actually were arresting cops for asking for a bribe. There was citizen action, and they're willing to do that as well.
I don't think that is true.
The president's latest speech, I mean, he seems like now he's committed to this thing.
Absolutely. There is a political will. He has said it very clearly. In fact, 2 days ago, he said, we will continue with this process up to the end, and it's going to be very painful.
So how much time do you give him for the talk? How much time should we give him? 30 days, 90 days?
You know, this thing is not something that can be done in a day or two. Let me say that, in fact, I disagree with the fact that a lot of all Kenyans support that aspect. The people who benefit from corruption, there are too many people who benefit from this corruption at every level of society.
Yeah.
It is not a one thing. It is not as if the president has a magic word in which he can change our society and our mindset and our culture just in a day by a statement. It is a process. And I would think that it will take time. It is not a one-stop endeavor. There is no quick fix
Absolutely.
to corruption.
Let me take another break. We'll come back and let's talk about moving forward.
Okay.
Moving forward. It's the end of another year, 2 years to the next election. Kenya was ranked number what in the world? By TI?
7?
Yeah, but those are statistics based on what?
You know, I thought it was very progressive until I came here. I'm starting to doubt you.
At MP Yusuf Hassan, at Boniface Mwangi, at Koinange Jeff, the hashtag State of the Nation. And we are
like
talking
saying
about
Kenya is the
state of the
poorest
nation,
country or
state
the
of
ugliest
corruption,
country in the
state
world.
of stealing, you name it, on this World Anti-Corruption Day.
Manzi.
As my guest continue to talk, it's okay, carry on. I'm just talking to, 5 million people. Carry on. Jeff Koinange Live takes a break. We'll be
I
back
didn't know you were on the air.
in a moment. You didn't know.
Still going on.
I thought you said you were going to have a break.